Hello and welcome to the stream of fail. Let me just post things. Post my link now, please. There you go. Alright, so there's a competition going on, and we had the chance to be in the Undertale game. Yeah, this is the competition. The link to the competition is in the stream. Hello, Silence Rock, and welcome to the stream of fail. So yeah, the link to the competition is in the description of the stream, and I want to join it because I've got like 3 AU, and I think it would be cool. Hey. But I have played the. If some of you might remember that I have played through the demo of the Undertale game so far, which is really awesome, and I fangirl a lot about it. It's cool, and yeah, I can't wait for this to come out. I'm excited. Oh, I'm excited. Oh, I'm excited. So yes, I'm making this track anyway at 30. Okay. Oh yeah, I was gonna play music. Also, I'm playing music from a playlist that is from the game. And I got the links to that in the description too. So I'm just gonna, let's just loop this. And just put it on. I'm still a bit ill, so you have to forgive me for that. But yeah, so, yeah, turn this down. Be quiet to music and distracting. I'm talking. It's cool. No, I need to live to do it. How's it like here? Alright, so, we got the lag on the stream. Yes, lag has to be there, otherwise you'll be real lagging. You have no idea what real lag is. Trust me. Alright, anyway, so in the game, there will be a battle between Ink Sands and Aero Sands near the end of the game. As far as I understood it, yes. So basically with the competition, if you put your AU forward, you can either have your characters be behind Team Ink or Team Error. That was Anya's stream that has true lag. Because she doesn't have a graphics card, unfortunately. But yeah, she can't do much about that. Yeah. So competition, yay! So either you can, like, the first place winner of this. I just want to go through the competition first. So the first place winner of this will get their own fully fledged Echo World from their own AU or friends at some point after the game's full release. So this is kind of like an extra add-on after the game is finished. Second place winner will get a fully fledged Echo follower from the AU or friends AU at some point after the release. So an Echo follower is just having the sprite character, and you can have them join your team and they can go around with you. Which is actually quite interesting because for Sashi, having the Echo World and having an Echo follower, or having him just as an Echo follower are two completely different things. Well, I thought it was interesting anyway, but you know. This ends on the 31st of October, so if you guys want to put in any of your AUs, what you need to do is make a video. You can be speaking in it. It's encouraged, but you don't have to. Well, obviously you don't have to face cam. But yeah, talk about what your AUs are and whether they would follow Team Ink or Team Error. Hello, AJ, and welcome to the stream. Yes. So, I think I've covered all the basics. Doesn't have to be professional or anything, can be as long as short as you like, just so long as they've got a good view idea of what the Echo World and that would be, and what the AU is about. So yeah, and I've been told I'm allowed to have music with it, just by hearing the music in the background. I like it. I listen to the Undertale music all the time, actually. and I'm drawing and stuff. But like, I don't like my main problem when I'm doing live stream drawings on YouTube is that YouTube comes real assy at me, and doesn't like me at all. But anyway, so this is the what is for Undertale page, which goes into the actual game. I haven't got this linked on the description, but if you go to the competition, there are loads of links to this page, so you can find it quite easy. And it tells you a bit about the plot, the characters, and and it tells you about the echoes. So if you're confused about the echoes, then this goes through it more detail. And you get like Blueberry as an echo follower, and you get Stretch, as well. So yeah, so there's that. I think I've gone through it. Yes. Oh, that's adorable. Anyway, so I've put up there picture of Sashi. So we're talking about Sashi. This is Sashi, by the way. For those of you that don't know. By the way, many things turn so easy trigger warning. Okay. So in Sashi's AU is called Undertesting. And what happens in it is basically the monsters get locked underground like usual. But the humans have kind of caught on to the fact that eventually the monsters they can break the barrier. They know there's a way to break the barrier, and they're pretty sure they're not stupid in the sense of they'll never break the barrier, so it's safe, even though there is a way to break the barrier. So they turn around and go, okay, there is a way to break the barrier. Eventually they might actually do it. So instead of just waiting around for the monsters to reappear and for a war to start again, they have a special kind of sector built, a scientific sector with a laboratory and everything, to take monsters and turn them into what they would call as super monsters. So when they also sent kids down into the underground to get the monsters in the first place, because it's a kid. No one's gonna suspect children now, are they? So the first one to be sent down is Kara, and Kara doesn't speak when she's in the underground, and she gets taken in, and Gasta and Alphys look over it, check over, make sure that she's okay. I think she stays there for a few weeks with the royal family and stuff. So it's like a little bit like the normal Undertale style, up until Kara actually talks to Gasta and says that she can offer him a way to break the barrier, provided that he comes with her. And she tricks him into letting her take him to the barrier, and she's got a device that lets her and one monster through. So she and Gasta disappear, and at that point Gasta disappeared from the Undertale timeline, and so does Kara. They end up on the surface world, and they get the scientists and military people waiting on the other side to capture Gasta and take him to the labs. And Kara's mission was to find the head scientist of the monsters to take him to the labs, so that they have a monster scientist which knows all about the monster genetics and all of that sort of things. Hello Molly, and welcome to the stream of fail. You're alive. That is very good. Nice. I'm currently going through what Undertesting is as an AU, and going to be going through 2 other AUs that I have for a competition with Undertale. If you want to find the things for that, it's in the description below. So yeah, so Gasta gets taken in by the scientists, and basically, not very nicely, forced to be kind of like the head of experiments there. Then there's kind of like a time skip in the AU, and that's kind of the little backstory of the setup of it. And there's kind of a time skip, and what was it? There are a load of experiments that happen to they're trying to make the perfect kind of predator. So they're taking a monster, and they don't want to use humans or their own animals that they have because that's theirs. So their plan is to make these super predator monsters to go fight the other monsters that will come out of um the AU, not AU, out of the underground. So yes, so they first start taking just little monsters, and they don't get noticed, and they just disappear from the timeline. When they come up to be experimented on, their DNA is mixed with that of usually 1 to 2, maybe tried to be more, but couldn't get more predator DNA into that. Too much. And their DNA gets broken apart and then integrated with the predator of the human's choice as a test, and then it gets put back into the monster, and the monster changes physically, and so to match the DNA that has been put in it. So 54,587 experiments later, the name Sashi comes from his experiment number, which is the number that I just said. And he names himself that because he can't remember that actually he was called Sans before. This after going through the DNA changing process messes with your head majorly, and stuff like that. So yeah, Sans comes along, and for Sans, Frisk is sent down to the underground, and Frisk is meant to find a strong fighter, and originally was aiming for Papyrus, so befriending Papyrus, so that they can take Papyrus out of the underground, because he's got a lot of HP. So yeah, he should be a good candidate for that. But they end up not taking Papyrus, and instead Sans kind of sees that their weird behavior, and decides to get them alone to talk to them and say, what's actually going on here? I can tell by your face you don't actually like my brother, why are you talking to him? That kind of stuff. So Sans can kind of sense what's going on. And then they manage to convince Sans to come with them, to pass through the barrier, to get basically kidnapped by by the scientists, and to be turned into Sashi. So yeah, after getting turned into Sashi, there are a whole load of nasty tests that go on to try to make the monsters obedient, because not only is it like they still have this natural thing of, they remember that the humans are what did this to them. They forget certain things, like they forget names of people in their past, and where they come from and things like that. But yeah, so they're put under nasty testing, and there's also Sashi was one of the first monsters to actually go through the process and live afterwards for quite some time, because he's a boss monster, basically. But then they find that if they change around some things, they can also get minor monsters to go through the process and still live after. And so there's like a kind of training ground where the monsters, the altered monsters would fight against each other. They'd also fight against other monsters, and each time a monster is taken from the underground, they're wiped from the underground. They're forgotten completely. Hello, Zelina, and welcome to the Stream of Fail. So yeah, I'm just going through the AUs as quick as I can. So yeah, what I was thinking is, if as an echo world, if that was put in as an echo world, Oh no, I need to go on a bit. So then so that happens a lot. Sashi's kind of traumatized by this point. I'm like, about 15 minutes. It's fine. And we're just going through undertesting. So yeah. Um, yeah. It's fine. Don't worry about it. You can always watch it later if you're actually interested. But yeah, so more tests get put through, more monsters go missing from the underground, and eventually Papyrus gets taken. And Papyrus is experiment number 94810, which, if you change it to a name, ends up being Pablo. Um, so yeah, Papyrus ends up getting called Pablo. But when Papyrus is taken, they, by this point, have got Sashi to a point where he's sort of obedient, but he's also really smart and scientific wise. So he becomes kind of like Gas's apprentice in all of the experimentation and that. And if he listens to them, then he himself doesn't get more rigorous testing, etc., etc. So then Papyrus is brought up, and Sashi recognizes Papyrus, but like doesn't really at the same time. But knows he doesn't want to test on Papyrus. He doesn't want to make Papyrus go through what he just went through. I didn't get a notification from YouTube for some reason. No, Sam. No, Sashi's number is 54,587. And yeah, so Papyrus then we kind of got that moment where Gaster and Sashi are above a unconscious Papyrus. Both of them remember Papyrus as well. Well, Gaster definitely remembers everything. He hasn't even gone through the testing yet. But Gaster is not in a position where he has an opinion on anything anymore. He's just kind of like, no. No, that's not Sashi's name. Sashi's name is 54,587. Boom. That's Sashi's name. And then Papyrus's name is 94,810. And that's Pablo. Because Sashi can make names with numbers, isn't that cool? No. but yeah, so what was it? Gaster's a rebel who knows everything. Yeah. Gaster doesn't have a choice, and he starts, as he's with them, bearing in mind that by this point there's been over 49,000 experiments. By this point, Gaster's kind of like cut off his emotional side completely, and just does it because of testing. Now at this point, Sashi doesn't want to experiment on Papyrus and turn him into basically what he considers a monster, because he considers himself an actual monster in the sense of this is a bad thing to be. And he doesn't want to have Papyrus go through all of the testing and everything. So he turns around and says no. And then they were like, you have to do it. And then Gaster kind of pushes him to one side and is like, if you don't do it, then I have to. And then Sashi actually kills Papyrus and Gaster, and then goes on a genocide run throughout the entire facility. And the reason being is, in Sashi's head at that moment, he would rather have this person that he feels strong connections with die and not go through what he went through, than to have him go through what he went through, and basically become broken in that sort of sense. So yeah, he actually kills his own Papyrus and kills Gaster, and then goes on a genocide run throughout the city. Throughout the city? No, throughout the facility. So it's only in that medical facility that he does genocide run. And then he hops to other AUs to like, oh nope, that was traumatic. Nah, bro, that's not good. Nope. So yeah, but before he leaves, he finds Gaster's journal, and Gaster's written everything down, thoughts and feelings and everything, and then Sashi becomes regretful of actually killing Gaster, because it wasn't Gaster's choice to be there, and Sashi finds out why and stuff like that. And he actually feels a little guilty for killing Gaster. But yeah. So in terms of an Echo world to go to, like if you were to do it in an Undertale game, you could have it where Papyrus is being captured and go through the you can go through the facility, and because you're human, you don't really get that much problem from all the human scientists that are walking around the site, despite the fact that you're a kid. But if you have monster companions with you, then they're gonna try and fight you and take the monster companions from you, basically. So if you're, I've said like, because I'm pretty sure the Undertale game is gonna have the genocide and neutral and what's it called? Thingy route. Pacifist route. Why can't I remember pacifist? Slightly concerning. Yeah, so you have those three different types. So full pacifist, you'll be going through everything and not killing anyone, which means all the humans are still there. In a pacifist run, this turned nice music. Have to go. Bye, Molly. Bye, boy. Have fun. So in a full pacifist run, where you actually save and mercy everyone, I think that you'd get to where they're doing the final thing of where Sashi ends up killing his Papyrus and Gasta, and like then you could kind of come in, and then you'd have to fight Sashi. If you've done pacifist route, you'd have to fight Sashi, because Sashi would associate you as being a human at that point with the rest of the facility. And at the end of that, if you mercied him after, he would join Team Inc. And if you killed him, then he's dead. In neutral run, would depend on how many humans versus experiments that you fight. If you mercy all the experiments and kill all the humans, then Sashi isn't gonna fight you, and will just kind of be confused, kind of like, oh, okay, I might as well join, and he'd be on Team Inc. in that scenario as well. If you genocide everything, then you will fight Sashi, and Sashi would actually end up being on Team Error in that scenario. Because reasons. I was trying to think about it, because if you fought him in any circumstance, like if you fought him and mercied him so many times and spared him in that, then he would feel guilty and start thinking about his actions and stuff. Whereas if you went genocide run and then tried to kill him, but he gets away or whatever happens in that sort of run, then he would feel even more resentful to humans. In which case Era goes, hello, would you like to wipe everything out? And Sashi goes, fuck yes. Yes, very much so. I would like that. In that scenario as well, he wouldn't get a hold of Gaster's journal. Gaster's journal is the main thing that brings him back to humanity, I guess. So yeah, so that is, if that was an Echo world, Sashi as a Echo follower would make actually more sense, because that would be after all of the stuff has happened, after all of his backstory had happened, and he's actually very chill, making puns, making cheesy jokes, flirting with, like, most people. And yeah, I think Sashi would make more sense as an Echo follower rather than going through his AU. I mean, you could go through his AU, but yeah, it'd be interesting. But sure, that's kind of what I got on it if it was a kind of thing. For Sashi. But I think I'd like him more as an Echo follower if he was. Yeah, that. Alright. So, that's Sashi. So, next one on my list to do is Dungeon Tale. I keep wanting to put Dragon Tale. It's not Dragon Tale. Dungeon Tale. Where is my Dungeon Tale? Where did I put it? Is it on Wiki? Comment. Dungeon Tale. Boom! This guy. So Dungeon Tale is basically Undertale after Pacifist Run, and all of the characters before leaving the underground decide to play a game of Dungeons and Dragons, and it is literally that. Can I be into you? Oh, are you talking about Silence Rock? Are you? Fair. So yeah, this is each of the characters in the real world have a character sheet. I saw that guy on your DeviantArt. Yes, this guy is Sans as a halfling bard, which is when I'm playing D&D is one of my favorite classes to play. They're just so fun. So yeah, you've got Sans playing a halfling bard. You've got Papyrus playing a paladin fighter. You've got Tournatale as a cleric. Who else is there? Grilby is the dungeon master. Metaton plays a diplomat. No, bad idea, right? Alphys plays a wizard. Undyne plays just a straight-on fighter, I think. And just yeah, so each of the characters have their own character to play in this Dungeon Tale. Now I'm talking about Undertesting. Oh right, yeah. Yeah, Undertesting is cool. As you can have if you characters an experiment, they can be kind of there. So yes. So yeah, I did a mini comic with this guy. So you can't see it. There we go. So so like a fight is going on. Where Sans is really lazy. So like even when he's role playing, he's really lazy. Which means his character in the role play, because this comes from the role play's perspective, is really lazy. And he was like, Sans, we're dying here. Should address me by my character name. Sans, I mean Note. So yeah, this Sans is called Note. I also know that there's another Sans called Note, but I named him before knowing there was another Sans called Note. No, sorry, I don't want people making comments of Sashi. You don't know enough about him. You can make your own Sashi version if you like. What do you need, Cool Guy the Paladin? Because obviously Papyrus is gonna name himself Cool Guy the Paladin. I need you to stop being a lazy bones and help fight the humans! So yeah, so this is, I think Dungeons and Humans is the game that they're playing. We play from the other perspective. So human adventuring parties keep trying to invade your homes and take your stuff and everything. It's so awful. I'm a bard. We don't fight. Hey punk, if you don't do your job and buff us will so help me. I'll come over there and make you see your insides. But I'm just all bone. No need to get rattled. Please, Note. Alright, Alexia. Just because you asked so nicely. And then the chair disappears. So yeah. This is actually the first AU that I made. Was Dungeon Tale. And literally that's all there is to it. So if you had that as an Echo World, then the character and whoever they had with them would sit down and be kind of like, okay, you're now playing this character, and they get mentally transported to the world of Dungeon Tale, and yeah, and then they go through basically a typical kind of Dungeons and Dragons plot of like, but from the other perspective, which is interesting. As Note would definitely be on TA, regardless of everything. He'd be TA. Shouldn't it be monsters and humans? Well, no, because it's called Dungeon Tale, so dungeons and humans now. So. Nope. Sorry, Rock. Yeah, so there's that. So that's a pretty simple AU. I think that'd be nice as an Echo World in itself, and you bring it. I can imagine just because, like, in the real world, you'd be sitting down role playing, and then in the Echo World, you actually bring out Note to the real world to have him as your Echo follower, and and just imagine like if Sans and Note would see each other and just be like, oh, okay then, it's fine by me. Hey, Silence Rock, if you keep this up, then I'm gonna report you from my channel. So, we've got Dungeon Tale. Oh, thanks. Alright, so we got Dungeon Tale. The next one, the last one. Oh, shit, there was this one as well. This one isn't even an AU. This is a comic that I started making called Undertesting, which is not an AU. Nope. It doesn't count as AU. It just has a different human in it. All the other characters are the same. Essentially, I'm playing the game. What, you playing Undertale? Yeah, boy! It's so good, isn't it? I know, I was fangirling so much, especially when the fact that I realized they had voice actors for saying it. And I don't know why, but having a voice to a character, especially when like you've played the game before where they don't really have a voice, and then hearing them and you're like, oh my god! Yes! Yeah, OJ. Yay! Yeah, boy. Alright, so... come. I don't think I've got... Oh no, okay, I've got the Sashi version of Tournatale. I'll have to look at my notepad. Is it updated? Not yet. I like the voice actors. I know this, so cool, right? Let's have a look at this. I just wanted the picture. Right. Oh, that's really, really big. Okay. Oh, we can do it from here. If it was just a little bit smaller. Yes. The Undertale game is good. I am excited. It's gonna be so good. So this game ends on the 1st of October, so hopefully, I think the plan is for after then is, not long after then is the full game's gonna be released, but without the Echo content yet. Especially, I like the Frisk and Sans voice actors. Yeah! But like, Undertale Sans is one of my favorite. Oh, actually, Undertale Papyrus is really good as well. But like, yes. It's awesome! So cool. Alright, so Tournatale. Boom. Tournatale is what happens when the war doesn't end with the monsters being locked underground. So instead, they just get kind of pushed to the outskirts of cities. They're kind of seen as a second-class citizen. I shall call him Doomfanger. Yes. So yeah, they get pushed out as second-class citizens. They get less rights. They, yeah, just everything is awful. In this AU, Sans starts as a kid. So I think in the AU he's like 11 or something like that. Yeah, if you're in a bad mood, that doesn't mean you have to make everyone else in a bad mood. So, be nice and excellent. Alright, so, yeah, so Sans is a kid. I think he's about 11 when the story of him kind of kicks off. And him and Papyrus get captured by humans. Humans are bad, okay? I finished the demo. I is sad now. It's okay, you'll be out soon. And then I'll do a playthrough of it, hopefully. It'll be cool. So yeah. What was I doing? Oh yeah, so they get captured by humans. Sans is the one to wake up first, so Sans is the one that gets taken first, to do, an examination. But not testing. Not testing. Just examination. He actually, in Tournatale, it's based around kind of dogfighting style, but with monsters. So they would they'd kidnap monsters and pit them against each other. Flavor is Flowey. Fair. Flowey's pretty good as well, actually. Yeah. So yeah, they pit monsters against each other. It became uninteresting, and people were starting to notice that monsters were disappearing. And what happened in the tournament tale, either you would, if you live and killed the other, then you would get through to kind of the next round. If neither of you killed each other, but you put up a good fight, then both of you could end up living. If one of you mercies on that, then it's expected for the other monster to kill you, or the humans will just kill you because you're boring. So it's all about entertainment value. If you were considered to die, can I draw a fan art of Tournatale? Of course you can. If you are expected to die or be boring and die, etc., etc., a red X is put on you somewhere. So, for Sans, red X has been tattooed into his frickin' skull. And that's kind of like the next thing that he wakes up to when he gets taken. He wakes up, he gets knocked out again, and then he gets searing pains in his skull because an X has been drawn on his forehead. Tournatale also gets it, as well, but yeah. Then he's sat questioning this human called Gaster. And they talk for a while, and both of them, despite the fact of being in the situation, neither of them want to be there. So Gaster's kind of proposed that if Sans passes his first battle and manages to live after, then he's gonna try and help out him and his brother to get out of the entire tournament and that. So yeah, and each time you win, you get an extra tattoo. Woo! So yeah, they get tattoos. Sans gets tattoos. Sans starts off with just I wonder if it's near on. With just the X. No. Oh, I didn't even have a thing for stuff. It's in the cover picture. He just starts off with just an X. There we go. There he is. There's Child Sans. So yeah. Is that pretty much it? That's the basis of it. But then it kind of got, again, the humans kind of got bored of it. Yeah, so the humans get kind of bored of it, and then they start making a ranking system. So they rank all the monsters by their toughness and that, and they themselves then go through the tournament, kind of like gladiator style. And at the end of the tournament, in that point in the structure, the monsters get hurt until they pass out, and then they get healed later, so that they can do the next battle, provided they're still interesting to watch fight. Sans then slowly makes his way up the rank to end up being the boss monster, like at the top of the list. So yeah, there's that. And then they had Kara. And Kara is the daughter of one of the people that runs this. So like Hunger. Yeah, it's kind of got a Hunger Games feel to it. Then came along Kara, who came along to one of the kind of underground fighting arenas, and saw it and thought it looked fun. Because, you know. Hello, Alicia Bell, and welcome to the stream of Fail. So, yeah. What was it then? I keep losing track of my thoughts. People talk and then I'm like, what? Hello? Yeah, so Kara comes and sees it and is just kind of that naggy bitchy, like, daddy, I want to do this. So she then goes into the ring and starts beating all the monsters. And each round you win, there's like a day of rest so that the human can recuperate and stuff like that. And when they slowly get up through the monsters list, they realize that they can't continuously bring back the monsters from like almost 0 hit points. So they need more monsters essentially. And they want to make the whole process legal instead of illegal, which is what it would be. So Kara actually comes up with an idea that because Sans is the last battle, so if she makes it to Sans, she actually has a way to escape with Sans to prove that monsters are monsters and need to be dealt with. And they need to be put in their place, and they need to have some sort of big nationalized show where the monsters watch and is like, this is what happens to bad monsters. So it's gone from the Hunger Games, it's still kind of Hunger Games-ish, to more of a battle royale situation. Confused face. I'm going through my AUs. You've probably missed a lot of the AUs, and I don't really want to repeat myself. Blah. With. So yeah. 1 second. I'm going to enjoy. Anyway, so Do you have a Mino? I don't have a Mino, sorry. Don't have Minos. So yeah, so Kara gets this idea. It plays through. Kara has a bug mic on her and a camera, and her and Sans end up escaping the tournament. It's very all convenient. And Sans and Kara have a chat, and Kara then tries to get Sans to attack her. But Sans refuses. And being out of the tournament doesn't feel the need to make entertainment happen, and therefore just continuously refuses. Then she... So, hang on. I have problem people again. Have fun with it. Why is everyone ringing? Alright, I gotta go. That's kind of the basis of it. I'm not sure if Tournatale would work too well with the echoes and stuff. But that's the 3 AUs. Alright, got it. Oh, I missed the phone. I gotta ring that person back. Why did I do that? No, no hurry. But I really gotta go. So I'll see you in the next live stream, which might be in about 5 minutes or so. But yeah, I think I've gone through all the things enough. Not sure if Tournatale would work. But yeah, that's kind of up to the Undertale people to decide. So I'll see you guys in the next live stream. Bye bye.